Yeah, sure, come out to the coast. We'll hang out, have a couple of laughs. Die Hard, released in 1988 and is directed by John McTiernan, who's also behind such other films like Predator, The Hunt for Red October, Die Hard with a Vengeance, and The 13th Warrior. And it is way too cold in here to continue in this wife beater, so I am putting on a sweatshirt. Plus, no one wants to see that. Oh, this feels so much better. Cold. I hate it. And this film stars Bruce Willis, Alan Rickman, Bonnie Bedelia, and Reginald VelJohnson. Or as I like to call him, Carl Winslow. He will always be that father policeman to me. And this Christmas movie starts with John McClane entering Los Angeles to meet up with his separated wife. And she works for this big corporation at Nakatomi Plaza. So McClane meets up with his wife, she's changing for the party, and then all of a sudden, these bank robbers show up, led by the notorious Hans Gruber. And they are here to steal the $640 million in bearer bonds. But the only one that is not taken hostage is John McClane, so he is maneuvering himself around Nakatomi Plaza to take out these criminals. And before I go any farther, let me just say Merry Christmas, everyone! Because nothing says Christmas more like sitting down with a loved one or a family member on Christmas Eve, sitting on the sofa, drinking some cocoa or some eggnog, and popping in probably the greatest Christmas movie ever made, Die Hard. I don't care what my wife said. But anyone who has some kind of film knowledge or just loves action movies in general, you know, at least know about Die Hard. You've probably seen it at least many, many times. Because this film became the staple of the modern day action hero in the late 80s. You know, in late 70s going through the 80s, we had all these jacked up muscle men as our action hero. You had Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, people with muscles in places that people don't even have places. But then there was just a conscious switch at the end of the 1980s where people were just craving for the everyman action hero. And Bruce Willis fits that category. He's not dolled up in any way. He doesn't have that stereotypical leading man look. He has a receding hairline. He's got stubble. I mean, he definitely works out, but he's definitely not, jacked in any way. This was an action hero that you can look at and say, you know what? I could be that dude. If I gave up fast food and then maybe went to the gym maybe 3 times a week, I could be him. If I didn't spend all my time working, teaching, and editing YouTube videos, I could be John McClane. And I think that is the most appealing thing about this movie and this action hero. Why people keep craving for the next Die Hard film and the next one. Well, maybe not after Die Hard 5, but before then, people were craving for the next Die Hard movie. And I really think that this is Bruce Willis's best work he's ever done. Either that one or Unbreakable. They're very, very close for me. This one I think gets the edge because John McClane is vastly known in pop culture. And I just love following his story through this movie. He's a New York cop. He's with his wife, but they're kind of separated, meeting up with her. You can feel the emotions there. He's out in LA, which is the other side of the country, really doesn't understand the culture and the personalities and the culture. And as he gets himself into this situation, he finds out why the bank robbers are robbing this building. And when he starts having those conversations with Carl Matthews, I'm just going to call him Carl Matthews because that's how I know him. But when he starts having those conversations with Carl Matthews about why he left the police force, or at least why he's not an active field agent anymore, and talking about their children and their loved ones and why they care and why they do what they do, you really get attached to these two. And I love the decision to have John McClane talk to himself throughout this process. If this film was starring Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone, that wouldn't have happened. I think they probably would have seen it as a sign of weakness if you talk to yourself. But everyone talks to themselves all the time. Whether you're trying to rush to get a project done for your boss at work, or if you're driving really fast in traffic trying to get to a destination on time, you have those inner monologues. Okay, this asshole's gonna go around here. Don't put on your fucking blinker, okay? Fucking asshole. At least I do. So I love seeing that with this main hero. I love seeing him react and talk about the decisions that he just made. What are you doing, John? What are you doing? Stupid, John. Stupid! Just really watching this movie this time for this channel, I was shocked at how engaged I was. Usually when I'm watching these movies, I might be editing my other videos as I'm watching it, or I might be playing on my phone. And with this one, I attempted to do that, but as the film kept going, I just had to stop everything I was 100% invested. I forget every time how good this film is. And it's great not only because of our hero, but because of our villain. This is the movie that announced Alan Rickman to the world. Before that, he really did like television episodes, some Shakespeare productions, but this was his first mainstream movie. What a way to knock it out of the park on that one. He comes in and he's this proper, well-spoken, classy villain that you're kind of intrigued by. The way he speaks is it's seductive in a way. And when he speaks to the characters in this film, you can see that his voice, his demeanor, his mannerisms really lure you in and thinking, yeah, I can probably trust this guy. If I give him what he wants, he'll let me live. No, he kills almost everyone he talks to. And I love that he's not an over-the-top villain. He's not out for, evil things, to bring chaos to the world or to destroy a building. He is really a simple bank robber who wants his due. And he also wants his detonators. Where are you, McClane? It'll only be a matter of time before I get to someone you do care about. One of the best villains of all time. I think this movie is endlessly rewatchable. I love the characters in here. I love the practical effects that this film has. One thing I miss about the 80s, you didn't have a lot of CGI back then. Everything, at least the majority of effects that you see in films, were practical. Buildings being blown up, people falling from buildings. That's all practical. And when it's practical, it adds the stake for me, adds a sense of danger for me, for not only the characters, but the actors performing them. And I mean it when I say that this is a must-see Christmas film. This belongs in the pile of films that you watch around Christmas. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, The Grinch, and Die Hard. Does this talk about the Christmas holiday? It does at points. Does it have anything to do with Jesus' birth or talking about Santa Claus? No. But Christmas is all about being with your loved ones, being with your family. And that is all that John McClane wants to do. He wants to be with his family, with his wife, and with his kids. However, these little bank robbers come in and they basically try to prevent that. So in order for John McClane to grab his Christmas miracle, he has to kill off all these bank robbers. The film even ends with a Christmas song. I mean, this is a Christmas movie. Guys, in the end, Die Hard, endlessly rewatchable, and it's an action movie classic. Heck, it's not just an action movie classic, it's a classic film altogether. The start of our everyman hero, and one of the last, 80s films that really relied on practical effects and, practical stunt work. It's also nice to see a movie where there are no cell phones anywhere. This film's plot, taken care of if everyone had cell phones. You could not do Die Hard today. Wouldn't work. I guess if they tried doing it today, they would have the villains come in and they would say like, oh, here's this big, super in-depth tech device that cuts out all cell phone signals in the surrounding area. Haha. And us being the non-technical people, the layman's to that, we probably go, okay, yeah, that technology probably exists. I mean, probably does. But I absolutely love this movie. I was pleasantly reminded just how great this film was and how much I love it watching it for this channel. So it's my pleasure to give Die Hard 5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
All right, let's get
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker! Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part in my video where I pick which movie I'm going to be watching next, and this one comes as a fan recommendation from one of my longtime friends back in undergrad days, Benjamin Hurst. One of the best actors I've ever worked with. He recommended a film that I haven't seen in a very long time, Serenity. And when he suggested it, I'm like, damn, that's a good pick. This is why I do this channel. This is why I open it up for everyone. I don't have to wait for the automatic picker to pick Serenity. You guys can just recommend them for me. Now again, I haven't seen Serenity in a very long time, but I remember watching the TV show that it was based on, Firefly, and God, just giving that one 2 thumbs up. A show that got canceled way before it should have. I didn't watch the show when it came out, but back when they started doing all those TV series on DVDs, I picked this one up and just watched the hell out of it and loved every second of it. There's only 18 episodes to the series, and just thinking, why cancel this? This was so good. But then a couple of years later, Joss Whedon, he does this film basically as a thank you and a send-off to all these characters that he loved writing and directing, and that we fans just loved watching on screen. We want to know what happened. So thank you very much, Ben, for the suggestion. This is a excellent pick. If any of you have suggestions of films that you want me to review on here, please comment below this video or go to my Facebook page, my Instagram, my Twitter. Leave your comment there. If I have access to it, I'll review it on here and give you a shout out on my channel. So guys, if you've seen Die Hard, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this channel, awesome, thank you very much. Please comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And when you're done commenting, please like and subscribe to my channel so you know the next time I post my next movie review. So everyone, I will see you next time with my review of Serenity. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.